that means is your market capitalization is the price of the stock times the number of shares. All right. Something like Nvidia is close to $4.5–5 trillion in market cap. And basically your weighting in the index is proportional to what your market cap is. That's why Nvidia is, 11% of the NQ. We're selling off. We're actually back to my 6,900 level here.
This is a monster move we're seeing.
Yes, it is. 24.
It was a decent move we're seeing.
I mean, biggest move of the day so far here. 24,930s. Last trade in the NASDAQ. 69.14 was that price Jack was talking about. That lines up with 6,900 SPX, kind of where we're trading right now. Let's see. This look like there's potentially some room low.
Love how you refer to the Dow as the Boomer Dow, too. Boomer 30.
I mean, they've made a lot of money from it, so it's all good. I have respect.
Come on.
So the equal weight would be if instead of weighting by market cap, we just weighted all 500 companies the same amount. So if the equal weight is rising, it means more companies are doing better, but not creating, proportional market cap amounts. It's an increase in breadth. We're selling now.
Yeah, we are. Looking at 24,874 here in the NASDAQ is the 200 moving average on the 30. That looks like a potential area to kind of sell into here. 24,898 last trade. 69.06 last trade in here in the S&P. It's a pretty nice sell-off here.
For headlines, I don't
Trump,
see...
a few minutes ago, any nation, I think this is Truth Social, any nation that wants to play games with the Supreme Court decision will be met with much higher tariff and worse. So what he's referring to, by the way, is that the Supreme Court, like most of these trade deals that were negotiated, were based on the IEEPA sanctions. So they're technically not valid anymore. So we'll see what happens there.
Any nation that wants to play games.
Mm-hmm.
And worse. That really gets you, right?
What's worse than playing games?
not playing games.
Yeah.
Playing stupid games, winning stupid prizes, maybe. 24,893 last trade here in the NASDAQ. 69.05 last trade here in the S&P. That 69.14 level, Jack, on a retest of that. I know we're kind of selling off here, but looks like an interesting spot there.
Dolby said, congrats, Jay. You win a 20% tariff. No more discount codes. Just simply tariff codes. Yes. You can play regular price or add a regular price or add 20% from now
on. I think one of the big uncertainties, Jack, the tariff refunds, right? Is that a thing? Is that happening?
Well, you got to sue it. You got to sue and find out.
Okay.
That'll play out in the courts. Microsoft's getting hammered.
I know what won't happen. Refunds to consumers, whether these tariffs are paid back or not. Don't expect it. Don't expect it. What's Microsoft doing right now?
Microsoft's getting murdered, and they have been for a while, but they're down 2.25%. As I mentioned last week, Microsoft is actually getting reasonably close to its 200-week moving average.
That does not happen often. That does not happen often. I know the equities during the tariff sell-off last year traded down to those 200. The NASDAQ did traded down to that 200 weekly moving average, which I don't think we hit. It was years. When's the last time Microsoft was at that moving average, check? Seen some more selling coming in here.
So if we get down to about 375 in Microsoft, we're trading 387 right now. 375 would be the 200-week moving average. Last time we got to that in Microsoft was in January of 2023.
Okay, wow. It's 3 years. Is that a dip by opportunity? We are seeing the NASDAQ now trade at that 200 moving average we were talking about, 24,874, 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart. I do have the NASDAQ. I did get access to a Top Step Live account. Shout out to the team for getting me set up there. But I have the NASDAQ locked out. I can only trade micros, but I would be potentially looking for an opportunity into this 200 moving average, but not just a blind buy, especially with the selling pressure that we're seeing coming in here. 24,860 last trade there in the NASDAQ, 6902 last trade here in the S&P, making new lows of the New York session. Looking at the Russell, pretty range bound. Gold continuing to rally. Metals rallying. Gold up 2.66% right now. Silver up 6.5%. I will saying the money flows somewhere. Right now, it's into the metals. Go ahead, Jack.
Yep. I will buy some Microsoft at that. Just once again, following the Charlie Munger playbook. Force myself to do a little bit at 200-week moving average. I also just closed the last of my Carvana. I am flat Carvana, boys.
There we go.
How did it go?
It went well, but like was an absolute disaster and then went well.
There you go. Nice trade there, Jack. Nice trade.
I never had to see the red prints. I had to imagine them because the options market was closed.
That was a wild move, right? It was down 25% and then right back to flat on the open.
Pretty close.
It was a crazy move. Yeah.
Right. You were going to say, JD?
I was going to ask you a question, a travel question. Have you ever taken an Amtrak ride?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Just looking at these headlines, that might be your only option of getting back to New York City anytime soon.
Man. Yeah, so
American Delta, JetBlue, and United and others are possibly extending cancellations through Tuesday.
Nice. Well, it'll be tough. You can stay in my basement, Jay.
I might have to. Right now, I'm staying at a hotel not too far away from the Board of Trade, but we'll see here. Yeah, my flight is booked for tomorrow at 6:50, but it's still snowing in New York right now. I think it's supposed to snow until 6 p.m. So, yeah, it is. Will be interesting for sure. You mentioned Amtrak, JD. I was traveling with a couple of friends, and one of my friends, he's a GI doc, so he's like, I got to get back to my patients this week. So he's flying from Chicago to Philly and taking a train from Philly to Jersey and back up that way. So we will see. Good thing about working from anywhere, you just as long as we have a internet connection and a computer, right? We can jump on the stream, take some trades.
Yep.
I don't know what that train ride is from Chicago.
I bet it takes a good 8 hours.
At least.
To where?
From Chicago to New York on the Amtrak?
Oh, way longer than that.
Oh, really?
You wish. 8 hours? No.
16?
Stand corrected.
Sounds like a full day.
That's if you don't get caught. The problem is we don't have dedicated rails, so it's like I bet you it takes at least 20 hours.
Oh, okay. Huh. I suppose it's not nonstop also, right? Yeah, got to factor that in.
Yeah, I don't want that train ride. I'll stay in Chicago. I thought about it, honestly. I thought about just canceling all the flights that I had, letting the snow do what it's going to do, and then just going home Thursday. But we'll see what happens here. A little bit more selling coming in to the equities. S&P making a new low of the session, 68.97.50 last trade there in the S&P, 24.890 last trade in the NASDAQ. For reference, that 200 moving average on the 30-minute in the S&P is all the way down at 68.80. So that could be a potential spot to look for some buyers to maybe step in here. The NASDAQ is holding that 200 moving average on the 30 for now. Gold continuing to push here. Crude oil pulling back a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
As mentioned, there's all that, put skew, put buying. If we start breaking down here, then I would be very careful about like buying dips unless they look really good, like a failed breakdown at a good level or something like that, because it could get rolling.
Someone in the chat says it looks like I gained a couple pounds. I don't know. It might be a different camera. I did go on a taco tour of Mexico City, so it could be I just put on some weight as well. We'll be back in the gym as soon as I get home.
You guys are ruthless in the chat.
I know.
Man. We got a band. Nice bounce. We got a band of people left and right during the opening call.
Oh, bouncing.
Crazy. Yeah, there we go. Nice little bounce there. 200 moving average in the Nasdaq did hold for now 24,874. Last trade 24,940. Just a reminder to everyone that this is Fast Markets. Hashtag Fast Markets. Tag us on your favorite social platform, preferably X, and we'll bring them to you in the show later in the day. Share us your trader wins, your setups, your trading buddies, whatever else you want us to show on the show. Tag us at TopStepTV on X, hashtag Fast Markets, or hashtag Power Hour if you're going to tag us later in the day. Nice bounce here in the equities.
Guys, we got so close to rolling into Fast Markets with 3,000 concurrent viewers today. We were within like 150, I think. I think that was the closest we've been. Almost did it.
Oh, gotta thank Jessica for that. Great having new guests on the show, different perspectives on the market, especially with her higher time frame macro analysis. Kind of puts in perspective what we're doing here. We do get very zoomed in, right, on day trading charts. But good to have that perspective. Also great to have this guy's perspective. Let's bring him in. John the Goat Hoagland. Hoag, welcome back to the show. How are you seeing the markets right now? First 20 minutes after the open.
Well, let's start with the S&Ps. So this is the 30-minute chart. We had an afternoon pullback low on Friday, 69.0875. Wasn't looking for any meaningful buying above there, and we didn't see it. We looked up there, but we've rejected rather stiffly in the day time frame here. We traded right down to VWAP. This is going to be a little bit of a stumbling block, but as long as we hold below that 69.0875, I can see this market rolling all the way back to value low around 68.90 or even points lower. We've got that 200 session moving average down below here in the S&Ps, J 68.80. You can see that also being targeted. We were just a few minutes ago, and Jessica was looking at the cup and handle in the Bitcoin, and we had a cup and handle kind of getting set up here for the S&Ps, but all this rejection up there isn't looking very good for continuation. Of course, ACH, anything can happen. What about the Nasdaq? Nasdaq, kind of similar. We were looking for meaningful buying above Friday's afternoon pullback low, 25.014. We did not see any meaningful buying up there. So we're looking for this market to possibly continue to roll lower. We've already tested down to that 200 session simple moving average down there, Jay. I heard you mention that earlier. We're still largely in range and value, just kind of looking at a violently range bound market here, at least for the early session here. Opening range is neither the high nor the low. So just kind of being patient, waiting for some sort of extreme, some sort of setup to look for an opportunity. Gold is very interesting. Gold not done. We've got the weekly kickoff high, 52.10. It walked right through it. All right. Well, what's that tell us? Maybe some longer time frame buyers coming back into this market, because this is on the daily chart breakout above short time frame balance. We saw some pretty good increases in open interest on Friday. We're seeing continuation up against an important inflection level, 52.10 weekly kickoff high. Be interesting to see how this plays out, how this market resolves for the rest of the day. We've already got I don't know what's the daily ATR was about $2, right? 174 bucks. Where are we at now as far as the range for the day is concerned? We've got space, folks. We do have space for continuation in the upside as long as we hold above that weekly kickoff high, coming back to it now could be a decent opportunity there. And crude oil continues to push to the upside, up against last week's high right now. Last week's high, 67.03, $67 last. Just trying to stay patient here, looking for if we're going to see continued rejection above those afternoon pullback highs in the equities. I can see this market rolling over to the downside. As Jack has already warned, if we continue to push to the downside, things could get a little bit slippery here. So we will keep an eye on there. Just looking for the right opportunities here.
Thank you for that, Hogue. Good to have you back. 68.99 last trade here in the S&P. 24.922 last trade in the NASDAQ. 52.19 in gold here. Seeing a pretty nice push. We heard Jessica say that the money has to flow somewhere. Right now, for the session, it's flowing into the metals.
Yeah, I don't like shorting it here up here in gold. As long as we hold above that 52.10.
Yeah.
We left the opening, we left the initial balance, single prints, very strong move above the initial balance high here. So don't fight a directional market and don't fight this one, folks. At least not now.
DFADM. JD, we're going to let you get out of here. Anything you want to say before we head out? I think we're going to see you back on the show in just a little bit, but anything you want to say before we head out, JD?
Yep, I will be back at 11:15 for Power Players. I'll be here with Diamond Hands George and Dolby Time. Until then, keep it clean out there. Trade safe. I will see you in a little bit. Thanks, guys.
I'll miss you, JD.
Bye, JD.
Later, JD.
We're testing
Jay, we just
silver.
might keep you in Chicago. We just may have to keep you here.
I got to get back home to my dog. Oh, he's staying with some friends right now, and they've been sending pictures every day, and he just looks more and more comfortable there. I think he forgot about me at this point, but
keep him out here. We'll take care of him out
right.
here.
We're testing in silver. The
okay.
You know, some prices we haven't seen since back all the way on February 5th, but kind of testing the highs from after one of the wildest trading days I've ever seen. That
yep,
big dog candle right there.
What a wild move that was. That $89 level is, if we get up there, you know, we just rejected right at $88, but $89 in silver is very interesting. There's been a seller up there. Every time we've gotten up there, some pretty big size on the offer. I saw Coach Hoop mention that, you know, we had that new silver contract that went online February 9th. It traded 10,000 contracts the other day. So maybe starting to see some volume come into that market, bringing some liquidity in. Again, that big silver contract is pretty expensive to trade. So more options there.
Look at this range. I kept the day candles up, but man, the ES. Where are my range traders at?
Yeah.
For what it's worth, we're kind of in the middle of this larger range right now.
Seeing a little bit of a pullback here in the Hug. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, it's back to weekly kickoff high. 52.10.
52.10.
Yeah, if we see excess above that, that might be an interesting opportunity. So
to sell
kind of
back
rich
into the
in
range.
Yeah, not really seeing any rejection up here just yet. I'm watching it.
A little hesitation, but not rejecting. I should see what you're saying there.
Yep.
We got the initial balance is already set here for gold. Hogue, do you take a look at that initial balance high, which would be much lower than where we are right now? 51.86 is where I'm seeing it.
Yeah. Well, the 720 to 820 initial balance high is 51.80.30.
51.80.30.
So
we're seeing some extension here. Equities trying to sell lower here. S&P just made a new low of the New York session. We got the Dow selling off as well. 49,250, 260 last trade in the Dow. Nice movement over there in the Dow. See if that is a leader. We got the Russell and the Dow making new lows of the session. Nasdaq still hanging on for now. S&P just made a new low as well. Are all the equity markets going to move in the same direction? Right now, the S&P down 0.4%, the Nasdaq down 0.6%, the Dow down 0.83%, and the Russell down over 1.1% on the day so far.
74% short in the tilt on ES. As someone pointed out, yes, the VIX is back above now 20.
Okay.
Off the open, it dropped below that, but we're still, fairly high volatility.
Yeah. Some movement here. I think we've been talking about it for the past month. It's felt like there's opportunity in the equities, but it's range bound opportunity, right? So are these 68.90s an opportunity to buy here for a scalp? I got a New York session VWAP 69.10 quarter in the S&P. Top of the hour just came and went. Yep.
You see a 3-bar reversal in gold on the 5-minute
yes.
chart? Yes.
I do, Hogue.
There it goes.
Want a short one?
There it goes.
Short micro?
Oh, you kind of missed that already here.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Let's see. Where's VWAP right now in gold? I have it at 51.77. So there's room. There's room to the downside here. We had that initial balance high, 51 in the 51.80s. I got a VWAP 51.77. Would be fighting the trend for the day, but I think smaller size, wider stops maybe above that high. I don't know how expensive that stop is right now with a micro, but I do see that, Hogue. Russell continuing to sell, Dow selling. Crude oil on its highs. As always, we are on headline watch just in case something does come out. We heard some comments from the president a little bit earlier on Truth Social. Make sure you get your post notifications set up there. Never know when something's going to come out.
We're just gonna try this here.
All right.
Short gold.
Yeah, just one micro, 52.0690.
Okay.
I'm not gonna risk a lot on this. I want to see it hold below 52.10. I mean, this is definitely contrary to the trend here.
For sure.
We will have Trump speaking shortly, it looks like, so heads up.
Russell is just getting smoked right now. The Russell down 1.25% now, 26.35.60. Let's see if we see that replicate in any of the other markets. Nasdaq still holding above those 900s. Russell and the Dow though getting sold off pretty aggressively here. House count short, micro gold. Like that trade, Hogue. Micro Bitcoin selling off a little bit as well.
And to answer the question, Trump is speaking. I don't know if he's here. Let me see real quick. He's not speaking at the moment. Scheduled to speak 5 minutes ago. So.
Gotcha. Seeing some selling now in the Nasdaq and the S. Here we go. Now we're selling. That short tilt in the S&P is getting paid right now. 68.83 last trade. There, 24.870. We're seeing a selling across the board. It started in the Russell, but it's starting to pick up now. The Dow selling off 49.167. Micro Bitcoin selling as well. The S&P making new lows. Nasdaq hasn't made a new low of the session so far.
Tesla, Microsoft, and Amazon all down 2%. Broadcom's up slightly. Google's basically flat. Nvidia's up 1.4%. Going into their earnings on Wednesday. 10-year yields keep on coming in. We're on the lower range. We're exactly right where we were when we announced the first rate cut in September. 4.056.
We did have that number at the top of the hour. Factory orders month over month actual came in at negative 0.7. Forecast was negative 0.7, so in line with expectations there.
We are
Awesome.
not doing what we were hoping we were going to do in gold here. We're back above 52.10. We'll give it a shot here.
Still like it, Hogue. At 52.20 is up there. I don't know where you have your stop on this one, but
Right now it's 1770.
okay.
VIX up to
You like it a little
2071.
further away?
I think that's fine, Hogue. I think that's fine. Maybe above the high of the day, but at that point, yeah, I think if we get back above those 15s, then we might just see it anyway. So I think you have it in a good spot. Jack, did I just hear you say the VIX is at 27?
Sorry, I probably should have put the decimal in there. 20,
Okay.
the number, 0.71.
Okay. I was about to say, what did we miss a headline? Because how did the VIX just jump that much?
Oh, I would be much more excited.
20.7. Got you.
Yeah.
20.7. Seeing a little bit of a bounce here in the equity. 68.84 last trade in the S&P. 24.887 last trade in the NASDAQ. The S&P, I believe, just hit that 200 moving average on the 30. Yes, it did. 68.80. Finding a little bit of a bounce there. Let's see, that tilt got pretty heavy short. Right now, it is still 74% short in the S&P. Average price 69.01. Not as heavy in the NASDAQ. 57% short there.
SanDisk going crazy again. That's up 4.5%.
All those selling all those USB drives.
Yeah. Well,
Sure, SanDisk was a lot more than that.
The AI trade is on right now. So what I'm seeing across the board is software getting killed. We talked about Microsoft. Adobe's down 4.6%. Figma's down 9%. Some of the other risky stuff is doing okay. Oracle's down 4.5%. As mentioned, SanDisk is up. Broadcom up slightly.
Damn it.
Guys, the SanDisk USB drives was just a joke. I know they do more than that. 24.872 last trade here in the NASDAQ. 68.82 last trade in the S&P.
Should have cut this one. I thought I wanted to.
Yeah. Out of it now, Hogue?
Yep, we're flat now.
Flat now. Good idea. I like the trade. It looked like we had some hesitation up there at those 52.20s.
Yeah.
Actually.
The contrary 3-bar reversal, was worth a shot.
You don't put a ton of risk behind that trade, though, right? That's not something that you're going to lean into and say, hey, this is my A++ setup. I'm going to take it with the biggest size. You took it with 1 micro, kind of as a feeler, which is fine. I think that's a big thing, right, for traders in general. Not every trade deserves the same risk allotment. And, if it's a cleaner setup, then yeah, maybe we lean into it a little bit, but not so much in that gold trade. And doesn't cost you as much. Seeing the Dow continue to make new lows of the session here. The NASDAQ as well just made a new low. S&P on its lows as well. Russell on its lows. Selling across the board here in the equities. Hopefully you guys are taking advantage of this in the chat. If you are, again, tag us on social media. Hashtag FastMarkets at TopStepTV. We'll bring those to you later in the day. 68.78 last trade here in the S&P. Jack, you were saying earlier, you had that 69.14 level. And below that, there's some room. Is there a target that you're seeing potentially to the downside here?
I mean, down to the other end of this range. So like 68.50 is maybe where I started looking for it. And so 68.64 or thereabouts.
Okay.
I've seen a couple people comment in the chat. Yeah, trading's hard, man. That opening move off the bell was brutal. If you were short, if you're trying to play that overnight level, it just squeezed and then let it dump.
Yeah. I mean, is that the case of give yourself a couple of swings at the plate, right? Where you might take it that because the level clearly meant something to the market. It's just that initial flow right off the open is kind of tough to trade sometimes, um,
If
especially
it
with
really
no follow
starts
through there.
selling
But
off, I don't want to like get into just like bottom picking, but I'll usually give myself three strikes. If it,
right,
but being selective about the levels, we are going to little rebound.
looks like the Nasdaq's the one that's trying to hold on here. The Dow, Russell making new
Yeah.
lows. The S&P's like stuck in the middle right now. It's like, are we selling off? Are we holding? What's going on here? The Nasdaq's trying to hold up here. 24,895 last trade there in the Nasdaq.
Still not seeing Trump at this event. Podium is empty.
Do we know what he's going to be talking about, or is just
They don't give a lot. I imagine
yeah?
tariffs will. It just says Trump at event.
Okay.
Might mention a couple of things about the State of the Union address tomorrow too.
Okay. 2 10s. Hogue, I'm looking at that gold chart. I don't know if it's trying to tempt us into a short, but it still looks valid here.
It's been telling me, try it again.
Yeah,
Try it again.
yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well.
Try it
We did
again.
make a new high of the day there. Lower high there on a 5 minute.
Let's try it again.
How many times you want to take it, right?
Short.
I think that'd probably be the last attempt.
820.
0820. 68.80 last trade here in the S&P. 24,874 last trade in the Nasdaq. The Dow 49.08 new lows of the session there. The Russell right on its lows as well. S&P new lows. We are seeing some selling here. Nasdaq's down over 0.75%. The Russell down over 1.5%.
Wow.
Dow just
short 80% in the tilt, 78% NQ, 80% ES.
Ooh. How long do they get paid?
Well, we are just wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
I am selling it above this weekly kickoff high. Actually, below it.
I think we're seeing the hesitation up here, Hogue, for sure, which is why I like it as well. I think it's what we were talking about before, right? I think the level is a good spot to look. It's the timing of the trade, maybe. Still looks valid here, though. Yep. Yeah, right.
All right. New lows, yes.
Continuing to sell there. 68.76, 24,870. We saw a very heavy tilt here in the S&P and in the Nasdaq, which means traders are getting paid on this short move in the equities. Let's bring in our top 5 live funded traders who are taking advantage of these markets as well. This wild start to this Monday. We got Nathan up $40,055. Sambat $24,596. Julian K up $22,296. Chow up $19,767, and Mancha wrapping up the top 5 here, $19,262. All live traders taking money out of the real live markets. $40,000 day for Nathan. Take most of that home. I know you all will, but seeing the market really well. If you continue to see it well, take advantage of it. So some big numbers there. Gold continuing to push here, 52.20. Nice out there, Hogue. Taking it with small size, it is they're paper cuts, and I think what you said there, we are wrong, right? And it's okay to admit that. I wish I would have admitted I was wrong in a lot of trades over my career, right? Just admit it. It's okay. You're going to lose eventually, but when you can't admit it, then those losses are usually bigger than you measure for.
Don't ever lose your sense of humor. Don't ever
Right.
lose your sense of humor.
Absolutely. Never.
Oh yeah,
Somebody saying
Pippin was posting more TA on Bitcoin. This is my new favorite category of social media posts.
what was it now? He had the Dorito pattern. I saw that one.
His Dorito failed. Now it's comparing the recent upside down U action to a similar move that happened in 2020, right before it went crazy to the upside.
Okay. There you go. Shout out to Scotty.
We should take all of his trades with like an MBT. It's small enough that we won't get dinged too bad. Could be a fun segment.
You think we could get him on the show?
If we pay him, probably.
Let's let the Bitcoin price drop a little bit more than pay him in Bitcoin. Maybe down to 8,000 there. Seeing the Dow continuing to sell here. 49,033 last trade in the Dow. Russell on its lows. The S&P on its lows. The Nasdaq's trying to hang on here, but we will see. We will see. Let's take a look at crude oil. 67.18 last trade there in crude, continuing to push higher. At 68 level, Hogue looking pretty interesting up there. %78 short tilt still in the Nasdaq, 60% short in the S&P. Love to see traders taking advantage of this. If you're short in the chat and just letting this one work, let us know where you're short from. Crude oil new highs of the day, 67.26 last trade there in crude. Really nice push. Like JD was saying, on that opening range trade, we would have been triggered into a short, so good no trade there. As crude continues to push higher, 57% long tilt over there.
Adding another one of these levels. So down, I just added the 6840 SPX. There's some action going on there.
We've got traders short the Nasdaq from 25,000, short from 24,963, short the S&P from 69.26. Nice trade. Nice. That's the high of the day there. The Dow continuing to sell here. Jack, do you know what's getting? Is there anything getting beat up in the Dow right now?
Oh, off the top of my head, Microsoft is in the Dow.
There you go.
I haven't even looked at the stock price, but I'd imagine Salesforce is down. That's in the Dow.
Okay.
Actually, it was a not a great move. The Dow actually replaced Intel, came out of it to make room for Salesforce. I saw an interesting chart as we're talking like software is just getting roasted and has continued this pretty much straight line down pattern for a long time. If somebody shared a chart of newspaper stocks. Now, I'm not saying this is a similar thing, right? But the fear is right now with software is terminal value. Like with the way that agentic coding is going on, is now you have to take into like, well, maybe these are essentially, zeros on a long enough time frame. But they showed this the newspapers, right? Their stocks started going down in a straight line in the early 2000s, and for 5 years while the stocks were going down, their earnings were actually still going up, and then it all fell apart. Right. So sometimes the market, the market's a forward-looking mechanism, right? The earnings won't save you. I don't know what they're going to do with these software companies to instill confidence.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, right? With these, I think you said agentic AI, right? You could kind of replace a lot of the software that's out there right now. That's it's interesting times. Maybe right. Yeah, you see all the. Go ahead, Jack.
What it has done, like, do people really want to like code their own Slack? I wouldn't.
Right.
But what it has
Right.
given, it's made like pricing and sales discussions more difficult because you have the threat of like, well, we could always do our own.
Right. Right. Yeah. Uh, I was on Twitter over the weekend looking at all these what is it, Claude bot
Yeah.
AI things. Yeah, you see a lot of people explaining how to set it up, but not actually what they're setting it up for. Right? Like, oh yeah, you buy a Mac Mini and you do all these things, you sign up for all these subscriptions. Like, okay, what are you actually using the AI for? Nothing. No real concrete example. So maybe we are still far away from that. Hogue, nice out there in gold, trading above 52.20s now, 52.20.70 last trade there. Seeing a little bit of a bounce in the equities as well. 68.82 last trade here in the S&P. Hogue, you got a Delta update for us?
Yeah, S&P's negative right now, 2,400, negative 2,400, and NASDAQ negative 500. Gold, positive 144.
Okay. Buyers coming into the gold market. Dow traded below 49,000 for a second there. Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
They made a lot of Citrini released like kind of, I don't know what you call it, a research paper. It's more of like a thought experiment on Twitter that kind of shook people up. And it was imagining a future in 2028 where AI does deliver, like it works, but the market is still down 40% and unemployment crosses 10%. And the thought there is that could you see a future in which 70% of GDP is consumer spending, where, for instance, this AI stuff just impairs consumer spending, and it hurts the economy. Who knows? But I thought the most interesting part, they were talking about how if everyone has these, if in a couple of years everybody has these agents doing tedious stuff for them, you can see how it would hurt a lot of companies' earnings because your agent could be tirelessly negotiating insurance quotes for you, or switching your TV provider to save a couple stuff that would be way too much work for a rational person to do on their own.
Right.
But just becomes sort of table stakes for everybody. Like the airlines would be the first to probably feel that.
Oh yeah. Yep. I will vouch for that for sure. Trying to find a flight.
It's newsworthy.
Trying to find a flight back to Jersey was very interesting over the past couple of days. $2,000 to get back home. It's like no. That train ride doesn't sound too bad anymore. Yeah,
no, right?
Yeah, it was so many flights canceled that they just start. You see a flight for $400, you try to book it, and it just continues to drive the price higher here. Driving price lower here in the Dow, just made new lows, 48,982. Russell on its lows as well. The S&P on its lows again. The Nasdaq trying to hold up for now. I think in the chat they said Trump is potentially coming up to the podium here. Just a few minutes, so we will bring you any market moving headlines from there. Taking a look at that tilt, it was 78% short in the Nasdaq. It's down to 57% now short, so pretty 50-50. 65% short still in the S&P. Crude oil still hanging out on its highs, 57% long there.